Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jerred Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
How's it going, Jerred?
It's going well. We're here with Alex Estrada. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Excited to get in the interview with you today. So give us the basics, man. Who you are, what you do, how you train, where you're from.
Well, I'm Alex Estrada, and I train in my garage here up in Montana. I am a computer programmer, and I'm also in the Navy Reserves with a few years of active duty time as well. So
that's awesome. And Montana, how is that?
It's pretty good. It gets a little chilly in the winters. It's been pretty hot this summer.
Little chilly.
Yeah, well, sub-zero is common. So
that's crazy. Did your job take you there, or did you just want to move to Montana?
I moved up here with my family when I was 10.
Okay. So from the area.
Yes. And then when I got out of the Navy, I came up here, finished my degree, and then just stuck around. So
that's awesome. I'm asking questions because it's like the only state I haven't visited, and I really want to go to Montana. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing. I like it here.
Yeah.
I don't do as much camping and everything as much as I'd like to, but yeah, it's a pretty good place for that.
Seems like a great spot. So what is your garage gym setup, man?
Well, I got a kind of a cheap squat rack behind me that I found on Craigslist a few years ago now. And then it came with a bunch of iron plates, about 200 to 300 pounds worth of iron plates, and then a bar that comes apart in 3 pieces for, I guess, transport. I'm not sure.
Just in case you need to take it to the park or something.
Yeah, it actually worked well when I traveled up to my in-laws for a holiday once, so that worked out, I guess. Then later I ended up picking up some gear from Vulcan. I got their bumper plates, their alpha bumper plates, and a bar. And then I found a Rogue, their first iteration of their bar, and then a Castro bear bar for pretty cheap on Facebook. And then now I have a Concept 2 rower that I just got a couple weeks ago. I have a whole bunch of kettlebells, not a whole bunch, but a few, and a medicine ball, some heavy bags and stuff, not like punching, but just a sea bag that I filled with a bunch of rubber mulch, so it weighs about 60 pounds. Yeah, that's about what I have. And then I also have an Airdyne bike, an old school Airdyne, works pretty well, indestructible, more or less. So, although I guess, Joe, you experienced that they're not indestructible, but
yeah, we somehow broke it. We used the hell out of it for we bought it used the hell out of it for about a year and a half. And then I think the teeth on the gears, I think that I don't know if the teeth broke off, because as we were pedaling, it would just like skip ahead as we were going. And then it just started to skip more and more. And I'm just like, well, this is just skipping every half turn. So we're going to chuck it. Yeah,
that'd be pretty aggravating.
I think that's why Rogue went with the belt, right? I think they have theirs is a belt as opposed to a chain. Cool, man. So are you actually in the garage, or?
Yes, I am actually in the garage. There's my bar, my weights, some other stuff over there.
Good paint job.
Yeah.
Thanks. I did that last summer because it was kind of a grungy white. I didn't finish the whole room, but I just kind of wanted something that wasn't grungy and full of holes so much. So
I hope there's insulation.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Is it, I know with the weather.
It's attached. It's not heated. I'm not sure if the outer wall is insulated or not. I know there's no insulation above me, so it gets still pretty cold. Sometimes I bring my bar in the middle of the night before, so it's not, freezing my hands. But
yeah, any sort of heating element. We've had a lot of athletes say that's like a big struggle for them is just the cold. So I always like to ask, bringing the barbell in, that's a great tip. Anything else you got?
I've tried using like a hair blow dryer or a heat gun to heat up the bar. If I haven't done that, it really wasn't that successful. Most of the time I just use a pair of light gloves, like mechanics gloves. That usually does pretty well for me, unless I'm doing like kettlebell swings. That sucks, but
I can see the heat gun working, but taking a really long time.
Yeah, I've heard other people doing it, and I think I ran across like a Kickstarter where somebody had made like a barbell sleeve with a heater in it that you just put that in overnight, and I almost got it, but decided to
That's
cancel.
cool.
Too much of a luxury, I guess.
Like a heating pad, but you just wrap it around like a heating blanket. You just wrap it around your barbell.
Exactly. Yeah.
You probably could just do that, buy like a heated blanket and wrap your barbell. Great idea, Joe. It just
Yeah, you're welcome.
Saves you like $100 because those are only like 30. So I don't know how much that thing was, but
Yeah.
So what was the big reason you started a garage gym, and how long have you been doing it?
Let's see. I've been with you guys for about 2 years now. And I've been listening to your podcast for I don't know how long, on and off since probably 2015, at least, because I moved up to back to Montana then. I always thought it funny when I was in the Navy. There was one guy who's major into CrossFit, and he was talking about getting some Rogue equipment and a squat rack to put in his apartment garage. I'm like, why would you do that? This stuff's so expensive. And now here I am thinking, Rogue really isn't that expensive if you shop around with other places. I mean, they're fairly on par or even cheaper than some of the other places. But yeah, I've always been kind of into fitness, and I don't really have the time to go to a gym. It's kind of a huge aspect, especially I live a ways out of the actual town. So getting to the gym, just making that time. I have 4 kids, so it's kind of a big aspect of it. So
Nice. So do you work from home with your job?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Ever since COVID hit, they sent us all home. Most of my team's always been remote anyways, so it's been a pretty good transition.
Nice. And so what goals, if any, are you chasing right now?
Really, I just like to get to the competitor level for everything. I'm there on 1 or 2 things, but this next cycle will be interesting because now I have the Concept 2 rower. So I won't be doing the burpees for the 25 burpee test or was 105.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'll be getting competitor for that 25 for the 500 meters. So it'll be close, I guess.
But that first 2K, let us know how that goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And the Navy's just put the 2K in for our fitness test, so I'm also excited to try that. So
the standards aren't that bad either for Navy standards.
I think it's 7:15 for me to max it out at my age.
Yeah.
So
Which
a little bit easier.
That's actually pretty hard, but yeah, still.
Yeah, it's hard,
easier
but easier than our competitor standard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a brutal one. Going to the 2K road. The burpees they don't quite do it justice, but it'll be good. I'm actually going to be testing this cycle, so I'm excited to see where I'm at. I normally skip every other, so I test typically all aspects. Every fit week I'll test a couple, but every single one, not missing any, is probably twice a year. And so this next testing cycle is the one I'll be doing. So I'm a little worried about the row. I haven't been rowing that much. So I'm wondering where I'm going to end up on that 2K row as well. All right. So what were you doing pre-Garage Gym Athlete?
Well, right before that, I think I picked up your kettlebell, 1-man, 1 kettlebell system, because I guess we moved here into this house about 2 or 3 years ago now. And the house I lived at before didn't have a garage, didn't really have a good place to work out, and I couldn't afford the barbell and everything. So I was doing a making do with the kettlebell or the college gym, whatever they had. Before that, and I mean, like when I was in the Navy, it was always work out till you puke type of thing. There wasn't really any kind of good training mentality. Yeah, structure. I mean, I always thought I know how to work out. I can work out. I don't need to buy somebody's program. but it's just so much easier just looking at my app and saying, oh, this is what I'm doing today. And I mean, I may be able to work out and make myself, hurt, but I can't have any kind of structure, like a long-term process to the structure. So
it's mental energy, man. It takes mental energy to come up with good workouts. And because I feel the same way. Like I know I'm the one who created it most of the time, but it's just like, I go out there and I'm like, good. I'm glad this is already written because I'm pretty like mentally fatigued from the day and I don't have to like think about what to put on the whiteboard or what I'm doing. It's already there. Just do the work. And, it really saves a lot of that mental fatigue, which I kind of want to bring up with you because you have 4 kids. You mentioned you're doing reserves in the Navy, full-time job. It just sounds like you're, balancing a lot of things. You're also maintaining your fitness, trying to get to that competitor level. How do you keep all of that in check?
It's hard sometimes. Sometimes I miss workouts because I'm got to get dinner ready because my wife is a teacher. She works in town. It's about a 30-minute commute for her. So I have to make sure dinner's getting taken care of, help her get out the door in the mornings. And honestly, I was most consistent with my workouts before I was work from home because I would wake up to work out at 5 a.m. and that was just what I did. And now that I'm working from home, it's, I have a time schedule, but I never actually get it to it during the day. So it was definitely a lot more consistent then. Even when I had kids waking up at 5:30, I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to end my workout right now, but I got to go take care of the kids.
Yeah, too much freedom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, I've had that struggle as well. The biggest thing that's helped me be consistent lately without missing is having my brother come over because like I'll have people, maybe they want to hop on a call or something. And previously I'd be like, okay, yeah, like let's chat, but I'll push the workout, but I'm not going to do that now because I have another human being coming. So I'm like, I can't, got someone coming. So if you got somebody nearby who will show up consistently, just invite them over.
Yeah. I live mostly by retired gentlemen. Actually Navy vets. So maybe I can get them to come over.
Yeah. You don't even have to have the same person every day. It can be a different person each day of the week. Like, just come over once a week. We're going to do the air diner or whatever,
I would not have thought of Navy people retiring to Montana where there's no water, or at least there's probably lakes, but there's no, like, it's landlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reserve drills are super fun around here.
So how do you like training your garage overall?
I love training my garage. I've always kind of mostly worked out by myself, even in the Navy. I mean, sometimes I'd have a friend work out with me, but mostly it's on my own. So I'm used to that aspect. So I never really did a socializing thing at the gym. And it's great because I can play whatever music I want. I don't have to worry about grabbing, 4 different items, keeping them locked to me and not having to worry about somebody else being like, hey, you using all that today? I'm like, yeah. So
yeah, I am. Go away. That's awesome. All right, man. Well, what's the hardest workout you've ever done?
That's kind of a hard one. I kind of want to say, so when I was a Navy rescue swimmer when I was active duty, and it's kind of a special program. I mean, it's in the same brochure as like the SEALs and the EOD and all that, but we're not really the same tier as that. But there is a fitness test that we had to do during boot camp in order to make sure we could continue on with that pipeline. And I had to tread water with a brick with no fins for like 3 minutes. I had to keep it above water, and I failed like the first 2 times. And it was kind of scary because, if you fail that, you go to the needs of the Navy, and especially once I got into the pipeline, it's always like, if you fail out of this, you're in needs of the Navy, haze, gray, and underway, being some like chip and paint. So like it was kind of I managed to pass it obviously because I was a rescue swimmer, but it was very difficult to dig deep for that one. I mean, it was only 3 minutes, but.
That's awesome. I did not know you were a rescue swimmer. We should have hit on that. So what do you, that is really cool. So what do you swim at all now? Because rescue swimmer is not like, oh, I dabble in the pool. I mean, you're a really freaking good swimmer. So like, do you continue swimming to this day?
No, I don't swim too much anymore. Once I hit the reserves, I changed rates. So now I'm a boatswain's mate instead of a rescue swimmer. or an aviation rescue swimmer as I was. So I was in helos. Just because in order to keep up with my flying quals, I would have had to fly every quarter for so many hours, which is kind of hard to do when all the squadrons are on the coast. So, and I wouldn't even say I'm like an awesome swimmer. I would say a strong swimmer at best. I really struggled through this rescue swimmer school compared to some of my classmates, but I made it, and I always pass my annual SAR fitness test. So
you're a good swimmer. Don't let them fool you, people. That's cool, man. That's a great hardest workout too. I'm gonna try it. I've never tried to tread water while holding.
And it's one we can't make it meet yourself Saturday.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, that's why I was asking about the swimming too, because that's one I would love to get into triathlons at some point, but the swimming, it's so hard to figure out where to how I'm gonna get that in. I'm gonna have to get a gym membership just for a pool or something like that, and
pool swimming isn't anything close to open water swimming too.
Right.
So
yeah, so I think I might just suffer through it if I do a triathlon. Be like, I'm just gonna let everybody go. You know how they talk about people punching each other and get kicked in the face. I'm just gonna let everyone go, and I'll be like, all right, now I'll jump in, because I'm not trying to do it competitively. I'm just want to finish a triathlon. So I think that's what I'll do, and hopefully I don't drown. Maybe I will. In your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
So for that, I think probably just doing things you really don't want to do. And if that means meditating or getting up early or doing the exercise that's programmed that you really hate, like broad jumps for a warm up early in the morning.
Right.
Those are always rough. But yeah, just doing those things that you really hate doing, even though you'd rather not. Consistency.
If you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Definitely the barbell. I worked with just the kettlebell for a while, and I like the kettlebell, but I was glad to get my barbell. So.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'll gravitate towards the kettlebell, but it's always a short amount of time. I'm just always like, this thing's not heavy enough, or they're just not the same, even though I like them, but it's not a rest of your life answer for me anymore. At one point I thought it could be, but not the same stimulus.
I think I avoid the kettlebell as much as I can, which is probably why I think it would be good to have long-term, because I just think it sucks a lot for what you do. And pretty much everything you're doing, you're getting your heart rate up. You're either being explosive or it's high rep. Versus barbell, it's like, well, I could just lift heavy today. I'm just gonna do 3 reps and be fine. So what's a piece of equipment you want to add to your gym?
Well, it'd be either a real squat rack that has I don't have to unscrew anything to change it from bench height to squat height, or more space, because I'm in a 2-car garage and I'd like to be able to park 2 cars in here. Sometimes I get one in if my wife's lucky, but
yeah, depends on how tidy you are after the workout's over, right?
Yes.
All right, man. So what is your best advice for all the garage gym athletes out there?
Just staying consistent with the workouts. Even if you fail at missing a couple, like if you have a bad week or if you have a bad day and you miss it, don't be afraid to just get back right on there the next day as soon as you can. Don't let small failures set you back. That's
awesome. Well, Alex, I do appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with us and, sharing all that you have. Very interesting dude. And you do have a lot going on. So it's awesome that you're balancing all that. And the fact that you've been listening to the podcast feed for many years, I really do appreciate that as well, man. So I appreciate you being an athlete and for sticking around the community.
All right.
Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Thanks for listening.